Hey. So, how are y'all doing tonight? Well, I guess actually morning. I don't know. I'm getting ready to start day 5. Um, so, my name is Tiffany Marler. I am the founder and the vice chairman of No More Tears 214. And I wanted to come to you at the Blue meeting, 3:25 in the morning here in Missouri, the United States of America. And I am on getting ready just to my first meeting with Australia on day 5 of the Global Sea Summit, the Coalition Against Sexual Exploitation, which is being held virtually in Washington, D.C. this year. And we have around 4,000 participants online active right now daily. This has been so much of a better conference this year than it was last year. Oh my God. It's been wonderful to reconnect with old colleagues that I've been working with for this entire year that I haven't seen on screen. It's been great to laugh. It's been great to learn. It's just been great all around. Yes, I'm a little tired, but the things that we think we know every time we go into these huge summits and every time we go into these huge new briefings every year to learn. Um, there's always something new that we find that we never knew. And one of the things that I learned just a few minutes ago that's really quite disturbing, and I've got the statistics up on my screen, so is that during COVID, the younger the age of the adolescent, the larger the amount of the pornography use they used. So get this. If you were a young man over the age of 18 in your 20s, around 21 to 25, your pornography use went down during COVID. Now, if you were a young man who was between the age of 12 and 15, now remind you, I just said 12 to 15. Gotta be 18 to enter those sites, right? Yeah. Over a 60% increase. 60%. And this is a poll taken by these individuals. They answered these questions themselves. A poll of 100 people in this classification, in this group. And their pornography use went up 60% during COVID. Now, to me, it didn't surprise me. It worried me, but it did not surprise me. And the reason it worried me is because it shows that not only are we correct to be introducing this new legislation this year to get the Save Our Children Act passed, to require these deactivation filters fees. But also, parents, you got a job to do. There's going to be a lot of resources coming out here real soon on our website. No More Tears 214.com. Last year we focused on awareness. This year we're going to focus on education and implementation. Education is so key to understanding what this actually is, this subject that everybody talks about. Every year we are figuring out legally just what these crimes fall under into these classifications, under these codes with our laws. Not just our laws, we're talking about international law. And then United States Penal Code law. I know the media has hyped up a lot about domestic terrorism, homegrown terrorism, terrorism. We hear about it a lot, okay? But there is a form of terrorism and there is a form of trauma that individuals go through. That has become political in nature, and a lot of people don't know the words. And one of them is called doxing. It's DOXXING. So with doxing, I'm going to read something here. And this comes from Doxing, Privacy, and Gendered Harassment, the Shock and Normalization of Venus Cultures, Stein Eckhart, Jade Metzger-Rifkin. And this was laid out by the Nomosi Library. We understand doxing as a complete, gendered, communicative process of harassment. Doxers use digital media technologies to expose personal information without consent given by those to whom the personal information belongs. We apply a feminist approach to surveillance studies to doxing, focusing on the constructions of daily, habitual, and ambiguous assemblage variances that disproportionately impact vulnerable individuals. We found that gendered aspects shape the flow and suspected intent of doxing and subsequent harassment. Victims experienced uncertainty, loss of control, and fear, while law enforcement and social media providers only helped in a few cases to pursue doxers or remove unwanted personal information. We ultimately extend the definition of doxing by considering the ambiguous nature and information shared online in gendered variance culture. Our findings lead us to advocate for protecting the consensual integrity of entering personal information into expected, intentional, or desired space. So, let me go back to my screen. There we go. With that is one more definition I want to give you. And this was going to be a little bit more harder to take in for a lot of you. Because our media has so inflamed this word. But our media is run by very big oligarch corporations. Remember that. Our hearts and our souls, those are commanded by the Lord. So when we're given words to speak to the people and to open their hearts, then we must do it. So Lakeisha Cables has come up with a definition of a very serious crime. And I agree with her, along with other researchers, that this is an adequate and 100 spot on definition of this. And she's actually quite close. She's in Illinois. She's based out of Illinois, which is wonderful because that makes her very close for this project. We've been trying to figure out my case with what has been going on with me for 11 years. You know, one can think that a woman or a man would go crazy and stop fighting. But I never did, and neither did she. Her case is not as old as mine is. Thank God. Because I don't know how I have had the strength to survive all of this, to tell you the truth. Yeah, I have a heart Holter monitor on. So we have figured out throughout this week, through many meetings with many different individuals, that we've come to the conclusion that I am a victim and now survivor. Here we go. Of something that you're going to start hearing some more about. And I'm very truthful about what has happened to me. It's called sexual terrorism. It's very serious. It's very hard. It's very serious, and I would not be saying this live on YouTube if I did not think this over very carefully. The definition of sexual terrorism is a matrix, and this is her definition, a matrix of sexually violent crimes that targets mostly women, amplified by the use of technology and the internet to incite and solicit unlimited guys, co-conspirators, to work together in collusion to maintain a perpetual cycle of on and offline sexual violence and terror. So once your videos are taken without your consent, under force, fraud, or coercion, it doesn't matter how long ago. And then those pictures or videos or whatever are used against you, or actions are used against you to make you do fear tactics, as we call it here in the US. This is sexual terrorism, which is a form of domestic terrorism. I had no clue. I just thought I was a warrior and a veteran and a strong person, and I thought I was going crazy when some of the stuff that was happening that was weird, that we could not explain, was happening. But we now know. I can't tell you how, but we now know. I'm doing this live because this needs to get out to the world, because this does happen to other people. There are other people out there. I know it. There's going to be a lot of hooty-hoos that will say that this has happened to them. But this is a long and lengthy process. If you believe this has happened to you, please, please call the National Human Trafficking Hotline. Please call Polaris. Please call somebody. Our website is nomoretears214.com. We do have a hotline. It is 314-717-1709. But you can always call my office number and leave a message as well. And I will put that in the chat right now, because I do not want to leave anybody stranded out there. And alone. So this is our actually, to be safer, let's just do email, because I don't think they'd like it too much if I did the other. We can get you hooked up. Whomever you need to get hooked up with. This is our last day of the actual summit. Now, I have meetings all the way through the 30th. And then we are taking a week off. But we do have Candace Owens coming into St. Louis, that the Aurora Hope Foundation, our other nonprofit, will be attending, and we will have a 10 top table there. Our guests at that table will be myself, obviously. My son, who is the other incorporator, and his fiance. We will have Steve Marquardt and Debbie Marquardt. We will have, oh Lord, I'm getting this all mixed up. I'm going low because I've just been so myself, my son, Marquardt, Debbie Marquardt. Okay, oh, Ricky Goss is going to be joining us. We will have David Martin, who is, not David, oh Jesus, I'm so sorry. He's going to kill me for that. We're live too. Martin Baker, Jesus. We will have Martin Baker. I just got done talking to somebody with that name. I am so sorry. So Martin Baker and his adjutant who is the director of the state of Missouri for Blexit. Oh my God. Can you tell I've been up for a few days? Will be seated at our table as well. And if you don't know anything about Blexit, that is the company, the nonprofit that Candace Owens and her other co-founder founded. And then we will have Tim Seidenstrecker, the Arnold City Councilman for Ward 2, and his date. And apparently I'm forgetting somebody because that's only 9. And Mr. Christopher Potter coming in from California if he makes his flight. So that would be our table of 10. And it should turn out to be quite an interesting and very good evening. As always, please look on our website for no matter what state you are in. The SOCA legislation is on there. Please use it. Call your representatives. Get a hold of your representatives, no matter what state you're in. This landmark legislation is going to be pushed in every state. Well, not Nevada. They have legalized prostitution, and not Iowa. They're kind of silly. They killed the bill last year. So if you live in Iowa, you might want to be calling your representatives and your senators and asking them, why'd you do that? And you might want to be asking them to get a hold of me. See if we can get one rewrote for your state. And it doesn't take much, but at the same time, it takes a little bit to get a bill back on the floor that they killed last year. So, and then I would be asking why they just stopped on it. So, it's time for us to stand up together. It's time for our voices to be heard. It's time for our male survivors to be heard. It's time for our male survivors to stop thinking they have to be macho. Yes, we like our men rugged beauty, and some don't. But at the same time, it's okay for a man to cry. This generation that grew up that telling men that they could not cry, they could not have feelings, they could not do this, they could not do that. I see my cat in the background. That's BS. It's okay. If you're a man, because that's what I've dealt with a few clients this week, you feel like you have no one to talk to. and you're a victim of human trafficking, there is help out there and there is hope. There is hope. Things will be changing. Do not give up. Please do not give up. I hope you all have a wonderful day. And again, my name is Sister Martha, and I wish you a wonderful, wonderful, I don't even remember what day it is. I think it is, yes, Saturday. I wish you a wonderful Saturday, everybody. Have a good day.